Hello. So this is the panel, as Matteo said, the highlight of the evening. But I want to invite all our Dr. Pylarinou and Dr. Andreas Petridis on stage, Andreas Livadiotis, our organizer, Nikita, Borisenko, and James Varga to join me on stage. And I want from you just to stand up, all of you. Stand up. Just to move around. I want to take a selfie. I always bring before my panels. Guys, are they behind me? Don't sit, don't sit. 1 minute. Come all behind me here. Somewhere here. Come on. Andreas, where are you? You can only see James from there. We will find everybody, don't worry. 2, 1, go. Sit and we'll get right into the panel about AI, the hot subject of the day, of the months, of the years to come. Everybody. Just to get my notes. Okay. Okay, let's start from the lady of the panel. Effie, please introduce yourself and tell us more, how do you see defining this AI in the whole fintech landscape?
Okay, hi.
This is the same question from all of you, so we start from Effie and then we'll go around. Yeah.
Hello, can you hear me? Good. I'm Effie Pylarinou. I can also speak Greek if you want me to.
No, we have an international audience in there, so we stick with English.
Σας καλωσορίζω λοιπόν. So my journey to fintech today started from Greece. I'm born in Zakynthos. I studied mathematics in Greece and then a PhD in finance, then Wall Street, then hedge fund industry, then university, and fast forward to today. I've been in fintech for 8 years, dedicated to covering innovations globally, and my heart is really closer to innovations in capital markets, asset management, wealth management, and business models. So that's where I'm coming from, with a very quantitative background. So I'm familiar with AI from the early days when it was used in trading and investing, and fast forward to today. I'm not surprised that that will be, in my opinion, the first area that we will see real impact. Actually, I'm willing to bet that investment research specifically will be the area where we will see sooner concrete results from these foundation models. And I think it's important that everybody understands when we say AI, it's a very umbrella term, and generative AI is a very, very small part of machine learning, but we do need to understand the difference between these foundation models and the AIs that we've been using in finance for a long time, that are very, very task specific. And I'll reiterate that distinction because it's a very important one. Shall I talk about my opinions or leave everybody to...
No, we'll continue later. James,
Yeah, thank you very much, and thanks for having me. So James Varga, I'm the founder of DirectID. It's a fintech that's a little bit old now. We're about 12 years old, so we've been around for a little while. And we provide a financially inclusive global credit score. So we use open banking data to understand people's financial situations. We do that as a global platform. We currently cover 45 countries with about 13,500 different banks, connections to different banks. There's about 1.5 billion people, so about a third of the global population could use our platform today, which is really exciting. And we provide that global coverage alongside insights where we use a lot of machine learning and statistical models and things that regulators tend to be more happy with. But we use those models, or we build models on that data to look at things like income and affordability, all the way up to cash flow and probability of default and all sorts of really exciting things. So that's a bit about us. I've been involved in open banking as context for a long time, so I chaired the data subgroup in the UK and helped build open banking. We built the first open banking app in the UK using for Clydesdale, Virgin Money at the time. And I'm just really passionate about everything fintech and open banking and stuff. So if you like to geek out on a data conversation with open banking, come grab me later. In terms of AI, absolutely, there's a whole range there. I think some of the GPT, large language models and stuff is representing a almost industrial revolution style event that's happening. I think it's going to be a huge impact in almost everything that happens and we do and use, probably starting from the back office type processes. Mentioned this morning, stuff like risk, financial advice, low impact to the consumer type use cases, and then spreading out there to almost every walk of life. So hugely interested in the whole GPT movement right now.
Great. Andreas, I forgot to say thank you for the whole event and the organizing to XValley and all the supporters and etc.
You're welcome.
I believe everybody knows you, but yeah, you can.
I'm Andreas Livadiotis. For those who don't know me, I'm the organizer of Cyprus Fintech Summit, and I'm also the founder of XValley Technologies. We offer a complete solution for online trading, including Forex, crypto, stocks, futures. Our solution includes a CRM, a risk management module, social trading, banking, payment, and crypto payment gateway. Thank you.
Nikita?
Hello, everyone. My name is Nikita. Thank you, Andreas, for inviting me here. I'm a CEO and founder of Loqos AI. We automate businesses with help of chatbots, voice bots, and smart assistants. And we mainly focus on those aspects of business where communication is the most important factor, which are customer support, sales, marketing, and HR. And I'm going to tell you about it a little bit more in the future.
Hello,
Cool. Dr. Andreas.
My name is Andreas Petridis. A very big thank you to the organizing committee for the invitation. It is my pleasure to be sitting here with these brilliant people. So, I am an experimental particle physicist. So, before joining XM, I was a part of the Atlas collaboration at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research. Now, after 10 years doing advanced research on fundamental physics, I decided to make the big jump and join the financial industry. Now I am leading the data science department at XM and the AI efforts, which I find very challenging and interesting, given that I can apply all these techniques that I learned back at CERN to solve real-world problems. Now, where I would like to start with AI. I agree with Dr. Effie when she said that, yeah, it is a small part that we use in the fintech industry. What we call AI is just every technology that tries to simulate human intelligence by machines. So machine learning is a part of artificial intelligence, and deep learning is a part of machine learning. So having said that, I do see three areas which are very beautiful actually to work someone on this. The first one is the process automation, where actually with this we can have more efficient operations and avoiding the human bias. Such could be fraud detection or automated monitoring for different operational processes. Then we have the understanding of the client, and I find very, very challenging this one because we want to know, through these beautiful models, actually, we can understand the clients multidimensionally, which means that we can create our personalized client experiences. Yeah, and last but not least, we have the quantitative finance, which is, wow, beautiful. And AI could bring revolution on this, but okay, I will stop here.
Cool, great. Definitely I'm with very smart people sitting here with me. And let's get right to the conversation. And I will start with Effie. Effie, you are one of the top global fintech influencers, at least I know and the world knows. very happy to have you in Cyprus. How do you see AI contribute in the development of all these innovative products? Can you share also some examples with us? I've seen a lot of videos with good answers.
Sure. Again, AI is not new in finance, not new in fintech. I really want to remind everybody of one of the most successful new business models in fintech, the super apps in China. And some of you may know the credit or the loan model that was invented by my bank, the bank of Ant Group, that is called the 310 model, which means that you apply digitally for a loan in 3 minutes. In 1 second, it is approved or not approved, and 0 is with no human intervention. So this model has been around and has resulted in large-scale financial inclusion, and behind it is AI 100%. Another wonderful and early example of using AI by fintech out of the US is Square. Square started more than 10 years ago, and as early as 2014, if I'm not wrong, they deployed AI machine learning internally to reduce not only the workload, but the fraud that they were already facing in payments. And fast forward to today, they have a B2B, if you want, offering for their merchant ecosystem, their business ecosystem, where they offer to the small businesses in their ecosystem as a service machine learning for fraud. Big use case for fraud payments, and as we all know, fraudsters in payments are highly innovative and figure out new ways to scam the system, and they have new opportunities every day as fintech innovates. So it's kind of an area where humans really cannot catch up, and we do need the help of machines. Another wonderful example from Latin America that some of you or many of you might not know is in the area of financing, invoice-backed financing. You know, Chile and many of the Latin American countries are blessed to have a central database that stores invoices. And because of that, there is a fintech called Klim that is applying machine learning to the data of that central database, and therefore in nearly real time they can do a credit assessment of the invoice and therefore provide the right financing. And this is magic, again, with machine learning. And the last one that I'm very excited about, along with the Latin American example, it comes from Africa, where we all know that mobile money is a huge, large-scale success, and it continues to be core to that market. And the companies there, the telco operators, the large ones, are using machine learning to manage liquidity for the mobile money agents. You know, the mobile money agents are in the 100,000 supporting the mobile money network, and the MTN operators of Africa are using machine learning because at least once a day these money agents are running out of cash. So somebody has to manage that process, and it's machine learning. So I hope I've given you a wide range of examples where we're already using AI, and I haven't even mentioned investing and trading and so on. But it is a very exciting area, and I look forward later to have the opportunity to discuss with you where I see these advanced models being used and how they will be integrated. And hopefully even we get soon to the point where we can tap into digital advice, financial advice, which is really where the value is in financial services, because everything else is commoditized at the end of the day, and the margins are shrinking. And that's the only area where we can use these technologies to empower us humans and offer really valuable, holistic advice. Yeah, I'll stop there.
Cool, great examples and very interesting that all of these examples is out of Europe. Let's keep that. Andreas, Petridis, I mean, your journey from particle physics at CERN, now you're in XM as a chief data scientist. How this influence all this, your background, and how is helping you to apply AI, machine learning in XM?
Thanks for the kind words, actually. I find myself being very lucky, actually, having passed from this inspirational environment at CERN, I mean. And all this, so the methodology or the approach that I use now to approach the real-world problems that we face at XM couldn't differ a lot from the way that I was working back then at CERN. I will try to give a couple of examples in order to put you in a concept, to put this in a concept. So back then at CERN, we had to handle a very big amounts of data. So you can imagine having billions of proton-proton collisions happening at the same time, and then these collisions produce billions of particles, and only a few events could be considered as interesting if we consider the Higgs boson, for example. So we had to store, in order to analyze and discover the Higgs boson later, we had to store all this data somewhere and give them the appropriate structure in order to give them the appropriate format and do our analysis. Similarly, at XM, we have hundreds of thousands of simultaneous incoming data. And for this data, we have, again, to give them the appropriate structure and analyze them in depth if we want to understand our clients, as I said at the beginning, multidimensionally. Another way, it's like, as I mentioned before, for the Higgs boson, for example, or for the searches of dark matter, we had to develop advanced methodologies in order to analyze this data and either find new physics or measure the properties of the particles, like, for example, the Higgs boson mass. Now, similarly at XM, we do this not, of course, to measure our client's weight, but just to measure different properties which can then be used in order to understand them in depth. And I will close by saying, if you want, as in physics actually, if you want to work on a grand unified theory, you have to start from the bottom to top. You have to work on different projects simultaneously. And then, we should always keep in mind that these projects, at some point, they have to be connected together. And this will lead us to the theory of everything. Thank you.
Cool. I like combining innovation and fintech. Andreas, how do you see trends in the future for fintech and AI?
I believe that fintech will advance much by using artificial intelligence assistance. As we know, like ChatGPT, you write a command and it generates you some article, some report that you like. But in the future, you will be able to voice command a personal assistant through your mobile, like Siri, let's say. It will be a similar tool that you will say, please create me a report for a financial statement or something like that. And we will also be able to do much more difficult tasks, like creating an investment, opening a user account, anything you can think of, it will be voice command. And you will be able to not to have an actual assistant, let's say, you will just have an AI. Also, I think in the future, we will see a powerful integration between different kinds of AIs. As of now, there is a lot of development in AI, but everything is independent, is not connected. If you want to connect two different AIs, you will need to go to the first one, write a command, get the result, then download it, and then you have to go to another AI, upload it, and ask from the other AI to process it and continue from there on. The future of AIs will be a tool that speaks with all the AIs. And in that way, you will not have to go anymore from AI to AI to AI. You just ask the master tool, the command tool, to do what you want using all the other AIs.
Cool. I think Demis Hassabis did something on that, an AI that creates AI. But let's go to Nikita. I mean, your expertise both is for AI operational management. How do you see all these AI chatbot strategies collaborating with institutions in order for an institution to achieve their goals and mostly the customer engagement objectives? Yeah.
Yeah, first I need to mention that I will be speaking exclusively about conversational AI, which I'm an expert at, because there are many different AIs, and just a disclaimer. For us, it's a very important thing to consider is first to educate companies, because even though AI, and especially conversational AI with the rise of ChatGPT and the likes of them, became very popular, many business owners and companies are growing afraid of that. They are afraid that it's going to replace the customer support. They're afraid it's going to replace marketing and different other people. So we have to first educate companies on what the tools are, what they are suitable for, and how they can implement it to achieve their best results. This is the first thing. And then we also need to work with teams at the companies that implement artificial intelligence, especially conversational one, for them to be able to work with that, to not confront one another, but to work together in synergy, so it's more profitable and nicer. And then obviously the process in general for implementation of conversational AI is pretty much like any other project. The emphasis here needs to be on the deep dive into the processes of the company. Like it's been said already, AI cannot be a magic pill that you implement and it magically just solves all of your problems and you go into the sunset, into the happy future. It's not like this. It doesn't work this way. It has to be implemented into the systems of your company that are ready to take it. This is very important. And then if your systems are ready and if you've done your research, or we can do the research for you, in that case you can implement all those different types and automate all of those different communications that your company has with your customers, with your partners, and basically anything concerning communication can be automated nowadays. The question is what you actually need to automate. This would primarily be the request, the most frequently asked questions, and this kind of stuff. And which parts of your system of communication you have to actually leave to humans, because AI doesn't kill empathy. People still need people for solving some of the tasks. And even though it can greatly automate and just give such a relief to the whole company, in some cases, synergy between human and AI is the best case?
Yeah, I'll get your opinion. Actually, it's my last question in a series of questions. But James, you are dedicated on open banking. Can you elaborate more about how we can create a more fair financial assessments of your financial industry and how you use AI with open banking? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess the first thing is what is financial inclusion, or how are credit risk decisions made today? Without going into too much detail, because I could probably spend an hour about that, I think fundamentally they're broken, right? In most countries, credit reference agencies or bureaus, whatever we want to call them, are based on this idea that you have to have credit to get credit. So they're all performance-based, right? If I've had 3 loans in the last 10 years, I'm okay for the next one. COVID's taught us that that doesn't apply anymore, and even a lot of those big organizations realize that the data they have is not really fit for purpose anymore. Open banking is the first alternative to that historical, traditional process that offers an opportunity to use a structured data set to solve the answers that we're trying to answer, right? Which is, you know, if I give you this money, are you going to pay it back? Are you going to default next month? Can you afford it? Are you going to afford it 5 years from now? Depending on the financial product, which ranges from, you know, buy now, pay later, all the way over to mortgages, we need to make a credit risk assessment, right? Open banking, first of all, solves that problem. Even the fact that someone connects their bank account reduces defaults, let alone anything else, right? So on top of that data is where we start to use AI to understand that, right? Data is just data, it's what you do with it that counts. So how do we build models that look at different aspects like calculating someone's income or looking at their affordability? A lot of those models today, because regulators aren't overly friendly with black box solutions, tend to be pretty simple, right? Or we use them in situations where we're more comfortable with it. Risk is a great example. Anti-fraud is a great example. Trading are good examples. As we develop around the use of AI, I think that's going to start to breed into or drip into more customer-facing activities. This is where the generative AI trend is coming into it, and where we get a little bit more concerned because all of a sudden we're interfacing with people and the human, and we're not quite sure about what the impact is going to be there. But it's all based on the same technology stack, right? It's all AI being used to create better experiences. And open banking in the world of credit risk, even at a superficial level, has a direct impact to both consumers and businesses. It provides a catalyst as we combine it with stuff like AI to really accelerate some of that market. I think initially, personally, I think in the back office or in the operational side of the businesses first, but before we know it, into stuff like advice and risk and product suggestion and even financial management over time. We're already using AI to do trading. Why can't we use AI to do personal financial management? Did I answer the question?
Yeah, great.
I was trying to keep it short.
No, great, to the point. You mentioned Nikita and Christian in the morning in the keynote. He mentioned about machines need to work together with humans. That's the way forward. And if he started mentioning about the advice, and now you mentioned how we can maybe automate or have humans in the advice area. That is the creative. I mean, Effie, how do you suggest all these financial professionals, a lot of people here, can upskill can find skills to do that, and in order to create opportunities and challenges in this advancement?
Well, there's a very common sense way to start. Instead of using the ChatGPTs of the world to write poems and experiment, which, I mean, it's fun to do once or twice with a glass of wine, but you can use generative AI to help educate yourself around these topics. And as we speak, there are initiatives that are trying to scale globally in emerging markets to use generative AI to start closing the digital divide and bring people that don't know how to use a phone, can't read, can't write, can't speak this language or another, and use it for that good. So one is, yes, use these tools, use the open internet to start educating yourself on a broad basis. Specifically, I would say in finance, the challenge is the mindset. We have proven that we have had rigidity of mindset in banking like no other sector. We proved it in the past 2 decades during this digital transformation. And now it's going to be even more challenging in this AI transformation because it requires us to go beyond our linear thinking. Why? Because these recent foundation models are not models that somebody coded, so we can't understand them with our linear thinking. So, you know, credit scoring is a good example. We would model an AI traditional model and put in variables that we do understand are related to our credit worthiness, like, you know, a payment history or other behaviors. But in these new models, there's none of that. So that explainability is not exactly how we used to think. So I would say upskilling here starts with understanding that we need to shift our mindset in terms of these models. And I would suggest that the best way is to go cross-industry and start to understand and learn from other industries that are much more advanced in using AI, whether it's the pharma and medical industry, whether it's manufacturing, and start and learn from those to understand these techniques. And I wouldn't go into the deep technicalities. I would really try to understand how these things are applied. That is my personal approach.
Especially with black box or explainability, which is part of the challenge with a lot of regulators, right? Is they want something repeatable that you can understand. If someone doesn't get the loan or the decision's bad or something goes wrong, that they can go back and look at it, right? But there's a lot of use cases that don't require that we can use to learn about these things, right? Back office solutions or optimizing your processes. I think GPT or generative AI for me is around efficiency gain, and that's how we should think about it. We're not removing the person, we're making it easier for people to get on and do what they need to do, right? So we're becoming the curators of content versus the creators of content, right? We're still there, we're still involved in the process. And actually using it yourself is a huge way to get, I mean, I use it every day. Who doesn't use it every day? Who does use it every day?
Disclaimer, I have used it to create your questions today. Part of it.
But it's going to fundamentally change. I think what we're seeing is a convergence of events around AI to bring it in the forefront with the funding to accelerate it and bring it into the world where everybody here should be using it every day. Even if it's just to copy check something or draft something or think about something or research something, we should be encouraging people to use it every day.
Yeah, for me, when I was preparing the panel questions, etc., just to save time, basically. It's not that I took the questions as ChatGPT served or gave, and just to speed up things, and actually it saved me at least 2-3 hours of work. But Andreas, I'm curious to see how you use these tools in XM, if you can share some stuff with us, or other tools to this. You are one of the global fintech experts in the Forex industry, and
Correct. So, generative AI is used to actually create content like text, videos, images. So, what I wanted to say here, ChatGPT from OpenAI or BART from Google, they belong to the category of large language models, which they just, combine supervised, semi-supervised, and unsupervised learning. In my opinion, we shouldn't give so much weight on this and minimizing the potential of other tools that they are already in the market. Okay, they could bring revolution, definitely. But at the moment, I think there are also other tools which are very, very powerful as well. How can we use now these tools? Very well said. First of all, customer experience, clever chatbots which we can tailor to each company's needs. Second is like they can help us to explore huge amounts of data and provide us with summaries, so this can help to faster decision making. We can use these tools even in compliance, for example, for document reviews, or even for data protection, syllabus, and so on. At XM, yes, we do use such tools, and we are not limited on this only. We have many, many applications running live, and there are so many others in an R&D stage. Thank
Cool, and you mentioned chatbot. I want to go to our expert, Nikita, on chatbot and conversational AI. How do you see the conversational AI? Do you have any advancements, latest advancements that we can, better chatbots or, yeah?
Yeah, well, chatbots are huge, especially the generative AI part. That's everyone knows about it already. But the question would be, how can you really utilize them to reach the goals and to make the experience better? And this is very easy to understand. If we take customer support, sales, lead generation, this parts of companies' communication that refer to customers, to external communication, this is very easy. And the direction where bots are going right now is first multifaceted interaction. I mean that they used to be only text, and now advanced fintech companies, and not only fintech companies, they build whole systems around their text bots. They are like personalized assistants that not only help customers understand products and get the stuff done, but also can give advice that can also help you, I don't know, like get a taxi or get a loan or get everything. So basically, modern banks and financial services, they build super apps within themselves because it's the fastest way for customers to get everything they want and to pay for it right from the app, right within the app. And so they're building a whole system, multifaceted, with not only chat, but also voice interaction and also a character of some sort. It can be just a ball of light, or it can be a real character that they build. And it gets much more interactive, much more interesting for people to play and interact with, which results in bigger retention, which results in bigger commissions from different services that they implement into it. That's the first part. And then we go into internal communications and the ways that companies can use AI within themselves, which is obviously fraud detection, because AI can see every move that customer does within the app with all the services. And if it detects something unusual, it can get an alarm, and you can use that. It's an improvement in general of experience of customers within the apps, because you can see everything the customer does, and you can upsell and cross-sell with everything that is actually implemented into your service. There is emotional detection, where AI can understand with which intention, with which emotion customer speaks to you, and depending on this, change the direction, maybe be a little more flexible into with the terms that chatbot, for example, tells them. There are many, many, many things that you can actually do, and they are not exclusively centered around generative AI, but it is a huge part of it.
Cool. Okay, I have another 10 minutes, as Antonia said. So I want to, very quick to Andreas, how do you see AI in your built-in trading software? How do you see AI there? I mean, engaging and changing the game? Yeah.
Well, we are coders. My company is a software development company. So we use tools like Copilot that was created by Microsoft. In the past, we used to use tools that they will get our mistakes. After we did our mistakes, they will catch them. But now with tools like Copilot, they can do predictive analysis. They can even generate code for you. They can think ahead of you, which is quite amazing. And also, you can ask it for best practices. You know what you want to do, so you can ask it a question, and it will suggest you several ways to do it. And based on your knowledge and experience, you can also choose the best way to further your algorithms. Also, in XValley, we are developing a new kind of investment educator. As we all know, there is a lot of investment advisors out there. But what we are developing is something different. It's a tool that will help investors with any kind of investment they would like to do, what action to take, what term, if they don't understand a term. It's like a teacher at your home, available 24/7 to teach you anything at any moment you like.
Cool. James, open banking is all about customer data, transparency, etc. How do you see AI helping on that and improving the transparency of open banking?
Transparency. Well, I guess in some ways we're talking about trust and confidence, right? Consumer confidence. And I think this will happen over time. Not everyone's going to be completely comfortable from day one because it's something new. Not that many people will know that it's AI or generative AI that's doing it. But I think, between the consumer and ourselves as industry, we'll build confidence over time the more we use these things. It's just a process that we have to go through, right?
Yeah, and I think that we will soon come up with new performance metrics versus this quest, explainability, I need the
100%.
code to understand.
Yeah.
So we need these performance metrics that will really build, so we can build that trust, because this is what it is, what it's about. And especially in financial services, we need to be able to trace the performance.
Well, I guess this is where your term around explainability and redefining that in some way is really important, right? Because what is trust? It's a level of confidence or transparency or explainability. You can, in this context, you could describe it as all sorts of things, right? But it's all something that's going to develop over time, and I don't think we do know how to measure it quite yet, because it's going to open up so many more doors or avenues of doing things.
Cool. Okay, last question. Out of the conversation, and my personal opinion as a startup blogger is that we need the advancement of AI. We need all of this. I love technology, but we need humans also, and align all this fragile balance in the process. So I want in 60 seconds your last statement, and also tell me, how do you see this balance between AI automation and human expertise in the future of fintech in our industry? We can start from Andreas and come back. Yeah.
Sure. I agree, actually, with what has been said so far. I'll start by saying that AI cannot replace creativity and also critical thinking of humans. On the other hand, nowadays, AI is a must for fintech companies, actually, especially with the exponential growth that these companies have. Having said that, I would say that the AI should be considered as a valuable assistant for all the employees, because this way they can free or spare time from the repetitive workloads that they have and concentrate on critical aspects of their job, and also with the complex interactions with the clients. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Nikita?
Yeah, basically the correct answer is only one.
There is no correct answer.
AI
it's a matter of perspective.
Yeah, well, AI should automate everything on the first part of interaction with the customer, everything repetitive, everything that does not really need human empathy and this kind of stuff, like the solving of simple issues, simple problems, and all this kind of stuff. should be automated with AI. Moreover, I would say that AI can be trained in the way that will 100% comply with everything that is necessary, and this is especially important for fintech companies because human factor still stays in human-to-human communication. So this is where conversational AI especially can be very helpful. But then when it comes to, yes, difficult cases, or yes, the cases that are very complex and need human involvement, we should leave those customer support people, but make them work on the more interesting, more challenging things. And this will be beneficial for actually both parties. Because believe me, I used to work in a customer support. It was actually my first job. And it was not very pleasant to answer all of those repetitive questions all over again. So back then, we used to use templates. But for now, it's obvious that this should all have been automated with conversational AI, and only the complex issues would have come to us. So, yeah, I guess actually the answer is pretty clear.
Cool, Andreas?
I believe that AI is the most advanced invention of the humankind, and it's built on top of the computer, the internet, all the tools that we have been
The
having.
most dangerous, as Elon Musk said.
I don't believe that. I think we will use AI in everything in our future lives and in the inventions and so on. And if we have a plan to leave Earth at some point, it should be done with AI. Thank you.
James, 60 seconds.
Yeah, no, big views. Thanks. For me, generative AI is part of a whole mix, right? And represents an efficiency engine, really. You know, I think that's a lot of what we're talking about here is doing more and more complex things easier and easier, right? Doesn't remove us as people, but it makes the process quicker and easier. And I think for me, I use it every day. If I think about, we've helped almost 200 companies leverage bank data. The adoption of more and more of these richer AI models as part of our product set to those companies, the adoption of that has increased markedly over the last few years. People are more and more willing to use it within their businesses to optimize these processes, to make easier, faster decisions, to give consumers the convenience that they're looking for. And I think that motivator of convenience, both for us, with the combination of efficiency is a really, really interesting combination. That's why we're looking at these things to make our lives a little bit easier. But it doesn't remove us. It just makes us, as I mentioned, the curators of that experience. We don't need to create the same content over and over or use the same template over and over. Why not just hyper-personalize everything? Why not make a template for me as an individual versus a template for us all, right?
Effie?
So basically, we should surrender to this reality and not treat it as, scary. Of course, there are jobs out there in sectors for which the adoption of AI will be catastrophic. But in our financial services sector, I think the only solution is to adopt it and be empowered and be creative. And it's not only the time, but get inspired by it.
And this is why I think is a big event for us to grapple with. We need to understand the implications of it. There was a time when no one wanted a fridge because they thought it would disrupt too much of the industry, right?
There was a time that nobody wanted internet.
The internet was never going to work.
In Cyprus.
Credit cards, don't trust a credit card. That was a 5-10 year process in order for us to build the confidence and trust with it. Now we're struggling to deal with cash, right? So it's completely flipped. I think this is no different.
With the cloud, the same. Don't trust the cloud. And so
sorry, Microsoft, it's okay, but
Yeah. Okay, we need to make another total conversation about cashless economies. I think it will be the next, one of the next hot discussions in the future. We see already what is happening in London and other places. Cash are disappearing. Yeah. Many thanks for the conversation. I hope all of you have enjoyed it. All the people that will see the video will enjoy it. I hope you took some photos, tagged our panelists, me, use the hashtag CFS 2023. We can repost after. And we'll continue with our more interesting panels in the future. Antonia, the floor is always yours. Thank you very much, thank you.